What do you think you got out of the Essendon game as a team and personally your own game?
Mate, I thought we were able to match them in a number of areas, which was really good, and we managed to get 50 odd inside 50s, which has been a big total for us given the last few years. I think got a bit of growth to go in, try and keep it in our front half once we either win it from stoppage or turn it over and get it back in there.
Couple of big ins this week, hopefully. What's that going to do for your midfield profile and your overall team?
Yeah, look, hopefully we can bring some excitement and some speed back into the game with hopefully Harley back and TK, and we'll see about Sheeta, but always loving a bit more experience and a bit more flair through the centre of the ground, so hopefully they can get the ball going forward for us.
Is it a bit of a different challenge this week with the Hawthorn forward line? It's quite a small forward line.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, the Hawks are playing a really attractive brand of footy at the moment, a really original style, and I've spent a bit of time with Sam Mitchell and played under him for a year, so I know that he certainly knows what he's doing fundamentally. So I think it'd be a really interesting challenge to see what Hawthorn bring this week, and I think if we can slow their ball movement down, we'll be a chance.
Do you see anything in the team that you saw in him?
Excuse me?
Or did you see him in that team?
Certainly. I think he empowers his players to play to their strengths, and it looks to me like he's rebuilt the club in a manner that supports that. He's not trying to fit them into a particular mould. He's going to let them be creative and see what game style follows, as far as I can see.
What was he like as a people manager when he was here?
Yeah, he was good. He was ruthless and he was to the point, but that's what you need to be in this industry sometimes, so I'm not surprised that they're hitting some good form.
Feel like he was how big a part of that 2018 flag was he, you reckon?
Oh, look, mate, like all football clubs, everyone's contributing, from the marketing to, you know, the masseuses to the players to everyone. Everyone contributes to winning a premiership, and he played a small role, as did I, as did Trav over there.
Trav was the true name.
Yeah, I know.
It's really good, mate. Now, in pre-season, I was a bit concerned because I saw Rhino interviewed you, and you were talking about your back, and it sounded like your back was playing up a bit early doors. How is that now? Or is that a constant that you have to monitor for the rest of your career?
Yeah, that's just a constant thing. That's a permanent disability, I suppose, and it's something I'm going to have to manage for the rest of my life. And every morning I've got to make sure I do the right muscle activation, stretch, and not just so I can play footy, but so I can do my tasks at home, which there are plenty of with a few young kids. So it's just something I've got to manage, and I also feel very lucky that I've got so many great resources to help me learn about how to manage a broken spine.
Have you changed your game at all? It doesn't seem like you have. You're still flying for the ball the way you used to. I mean, has there been a temptation to pull back a bit? Protect your back? Yeah,
I try and stay down a little bit more. Try and stay down the ground and try and not let it over the back is what the boys are telling me. But no, the game demands a certain style of playing, and I just try and play what I see in front of me. And I'm really thankful that this year it's been a bit more consistent than previous years, so it's a bit easier for me to make decisions. And
Gov was saying that you and he haven't played that much together. And so does it feel like now you've sort of developed, not a brotherhood, but you know what I mean? You can almost read each other what's going to happen. Yeah, definitely. And I'd say we probably already had that from probably 2016 to 2019. We were playing consistently together, and we had a really good feel of what we were going to do. And you throw Shannon Hearn in the mix there and Will Schofield, and everyone knows what we're doing and everyone's on the same page, and it's marginal, but it can be the difference between being an okay player and being a great player. So I'm really loving having Gov back out there again to work, and I'm really loving having a bit of midfield pressure so that we can have a bit of time to make decisions rather than no time and confusion.
Would you have liked a little bit more midfield pressure on the weekend? They scored 10 from their back half.
Yeah, I think that's a team defence breakdown, if you ask me. We haven't been able to keep it in our front half when we get it in there, but if someone's selling midfield pressure, I'll be buying it at any price.
Harry Edwards, you're obviously mentoring him, I presume. How can you fast track that? He's 23 now. you know, Gov's a bit older than you. He's obviously got a couple more years, but, you know, you're going to need him to come on, aren't you?
Yeah, I think Harry's come a long way, especially this year. He's put on a lot of size, and typically it takes a little while when you're a key defender or a key forward to really impact the game. You're seeing it with Jake Wardman now. The reality is you're playing against pretty big, strong men until you're about 25, and Harry is now capable. He's now ready for AFL level, and like you said, it's about how we can integrate him in a sustainable manner, and hopefully all three of us can play and work together and build that relationship where we can be a really strong defensive trio.
Who would play?
Leave Josh Rothan?
Excuse me?
Where does that sort of leave Josh Rothan?
Yeah, so Rothy's pretty much taking the real speedy, dangerous forward at the moment. He had a bit of time on Langford and a bit of time on Stringer, but in the back line you all have to work together, and Rothy's exceptional at it. He's always using his voice, so he sets us up in a sustainable way behind the footy. So the actual mix of players that we have isn't so important other than the connection between them.
Is there if there's a role for a lockdown between you and Gov, is it always you? Are you the one that takes the...
Yes, it is always me. Yeah, unfortunately. We've tried paper, scissors, rock a few times, but it was still me. It was still me.
Hey, Tommy, now every time there's a chat about do the Eagles need to trade someone or whatever, your name gets mentioned because you're obviously a wanted product, and it seems to be clubs putting their hands up. Do you hear about that, or does your manager talk to you about it, or how do you manage all that?
Mate, I don't read the media or the social media. I usually find out when I'm sitting in here in front of you guys. But mate, it happens every year, and it's hardly a story. AFL clubs chasing established key position player. It's just the currency of football, and so I wouldn't be reading it into it too much.
And being a key, as you mentioned, everybody wants a key position defender, don't they, really? I mean, Port Adelaide are still struggling, and so you're in the right spot. You're a very valuable commodity, but that doesn't enter your mind at all. You're like 2 more years or whatever it is, happy.
Mate, I'm a West Coast Eagles player, and unless the rug gets pulled out from under my feet, I'll stay that way. And I'm really excited about what we're doing here. I'm really excited about some of the talent. I think we've got some progress we still need to make, and we've got some improvements that we can make before we're going to be considered a good team. But I believe we can do it, and I believe that if we work as a team, it's a lot closer than people probably perceive.
How'd the forward line look from the other end this past weekend? A few more, very tall forward line. Do you think that can work?
Mate, I must admit, I don't really see much of what goes on up forward. It's only when I watch the game retrospectively that I see how the forwards worked. But no, I don't think tall or small matters as long as the players are focused and their reaction times are quick and they're working together. And as a fundamental that they're good contested players. And I think we've got plenty of those up forward. So I think the more we can build consistency and continuity in the forward line, the better that forward line will start to work together and the more we'll score.
And Optus, is slippery good for you, or is it not good for you in your back, or is it good when the forwards aren't getting the grip that they need?
Slippery is probably not good for me, I'd say, no. But is that what's been said about Optus, that it's especially slippery? Look, I must admit, it's not the greatest deck, and whatever the reason is, Optus hasn't managed to curate that ground appropriately, and we as players can at least say we're really excited for the day that deck is nice and clean. And I don't know if it's overuse in the off-season or just before the season, but it's never, ever been in a reasonable nick. So hopefully that'll change soon.
Is it, when you say never been in a reasonable nick, is that been at times too hard or always too slippery? What's been the issue?
Well, I think that is the issue. You're trying to find the balance. It's too hard, so then you soften it up and then it gets muddy. You know, I don't know. I'm not a lawn professional, but it's hasn't worked, and I know that people are working hard behind the scenes to get it going, and yeah, like I said, I'm excited for the day that it's a nice, pristine MCG type deck.
How's the work-life family balance all going now?
Mate, it's going all right. I've added about 70 grey hairs to my head in the last week because my son's hurt himself. He's had a little an accident and is in a cast. So that's been a bit of a challenge at home, but my partner Nadia is doing a fantastic job, and I'm really lucky to have lots of family support here to help us out. And hoping in the next couple of days we can get a bit more sleep. But I'd be silly to complain, mate. I love being a father. I love my family, and it's without doubt the biggest fulfilment in my life.